Howdy, folks. I'm TheSamuraiWho. Welcome to my ARJ Manga May 2025 Postmortem. And this is primarily a review of my thoughts, my experiences, and my plans that came to fruition and future plans for the Manga May challenge that Bargon and I hosted between each other to create 31 comics in May in 2025. And ARJ is our group, Atomic Red J, and we mostly play games and make art and make videos. So in case you don't know who I am, I make art, comics, videos, I write and code. I'm a contributor to Atomic Red J, and of course I'm TheSamuraiWho, so I have my channel here on TheSamuraiWho, and then the gaming channel on Atomic Red J with Bargon. And since it's a collaborative project, it became ARJ. Manga May, and it rhymes. So, a couple of projects I worked on previously for include my Punk Aliens comic, Me and My Imaginary Girlfriend, which is a webcomic I made a number of years ago, and Brush Pen Buddies, a series of videos where I used a brush pen and I draw and narrate it. And like I mentioned before, this is a challenge that consists of making 31 comics over 31 days. One day, one prompt, one comic. You'll see that did not actually occur exactly. But the requirements for something that to be counted as a comic is requiring it contain 2 or more panels, and optionally containing colors, dialogue, and backgrounds. So we didn't host a big project or a big collaborative event. It was just me, TheSamuraiWho, and Bargon. And Bargon's work is on his channel and his social media on Instagram and on Newground and Blue Sky. And we talked back and forth between ideas and various problems we were having and trying to work it out together. So it was not only a individual project, but it was collaborative as we gave feedback to each other on our various comics while we were making them. So here are the prompts. There are 31. We just chose random words. You'll notice quite a large number of them involve food of some kind. Large number of them include animals, occupations. I think most of them, all of them are nouns. Yeah. Lots of animals, lots of food, and lots of occupation. A couple of them are verbs. I think a couple of them are verbs / nouns. But so yeah, let's dive straight in. So I'm going to showcase a brief of all of the comics I did. Earlier on, I had more color, as you'll see, as there was more crunch time. Things didn't go as well. And since I don't necessarily have a pointer here, oh, I do. Okay, gotcha. Perfect. So for this one, I kept it simple. Try to just do 2 panels. This is samurai, and then he's a monster, and he's got The joke is that it has tiny baby hands. There's a curse. There's also Magical Girl Transformation with Betty, Susie, and Annie. Of course, Magical Girl Transformation things, their clothes change and then there's a flash of light and such. I really like these earlier ones because they show, even though they're relatively simple, they show a lot more of what I enjoy drawing. And I did change out some of my characters over time. Characters just naturally change their designs over time as, you know, we forget some things, some details, optimize, simplify, add more, make things look better, and things like that. And this is Tojo and a lamp that's supposed to be Zatoichi. I believe is a blind samurai. I didn't really watch the series too much, but yeah. And then this is Ductator and Mr. Sus. Mr. Sus with the tie, and you can immediately see there's no color now. The only color is in the line work. Panel, and of course I did all of this in Krita, so it's not necessarily the best webcomic software out there. It's just the one that I eventually got used to and the one I had access to. Bargun did his in Clip Studio Pro or whatever the top tier one is. And so there, and this was me. Sometimes I wrangle the software as well, so sometimes it causes me issues, but it is what it is. So yeah, so with this one, I definitely had it where I was watching something and I had an idea for like the assassin's teapot, so I made this, and that's why, but it's not very clear without the coloring, so that's where coloring can be helpful here. This one was, I think, would leave a love triangle, so I wanted to just bounce it around. This one was pretty good. I combined different types of shots, different types of characters, and then this one I kind of did something, and yeah, just tried to stick with the prompts. Sometimes I took them literally, sometimes I took them as puns and things like that. This one's where Imposta smashes a bonsai on top of Bean. And then you have Takoyaki. Some of these prompts I remember, some of them I don't. Like this one, I don't think it's a guitar, but you can see some messy line work here and there. Sometimes I forgot. This one, my tablet drivers crashed, so that's why you go from these lines to suddenly it gets really wonky. Yeah, it's because I switched from being able to use my tablet to my having to draw with my mouse. And then I have a splash of color here with Liz and Captain Rose and Axeman. However, this time around he has a harpoon. This is a nurse. This is a robot. I really like this one. This pun or a loud planet and a loud planet, and just taking this here and swapping some stuff out, just making it look evil. So Susie, Betty, Annie, and Bean. Oh yeah, I think, yeah, okay. This is the point where I noticed that there was a setting with the bubble tool that I was using that allows you to select colors. So I started getting the colors more consistent with the line work. This is fan art. Hawkeye. I like Hawkeye. I love Full Metal Alchemist. Both versions. It doesn't matter. They're both good in different ways. And of course Roy Mustang. This is Dowsing Rod, Dowsing Grandpa, and then Fly Boy, and then a tiger. There's Munchie. Munchie includes the bird here on top. And then this is Mankey. And then this is Mr. Sus, and this is Pothead. Pothead, Bean, or Sammy, and Mankey are my trio of expression. So, and we have Bean here and Flapjack, because Flapjack, and then this is Flapjack. It's pancake. So, try to do a pun there. These guys are all in the Punk Aliens world, so it's a little bit simpler. But I have a ton of characters, so. This is Impasta again. Impasta is like an alternative version of Sammy or Bean here. So. This one, I saw something about like a ranch on Pop-Tarts. And I thought, oh, something. So I had biscuits. So it would be gravy on cookies instead. Pot of gold, and chocolate coins. And then this is Mr. Moneybags. I wonder why he's called Mr. Moneybags. It couldn't be the bags of money. And then he gets tickets to a boxing match. This is a dog. So Glimbo is a dog character in my world with Punk Aliens, but this is a different dog. This is a dog inspired more by Ein from Cowboy Bebop. And this one okay, this is Treasure. This is boxing. This is boxing. This is Treasure. Then this is Cherry. And this color would go a long ways here, because then I could make this red and you'd know that it was cherry pie that they're freaking out about. This is Ductator before he was Ductator. Kind of. I think. No. I think this is just Ductator in his lab, which is a normal lab. This is Ostrich and Eggy Boy right here. I just thought this was funny. Just having him have a Mr. Sus have a Gatling gun, but miss. So this is where I got a little lazy here. I just took this, which is a cleaned up version of this, and I scaled it down, and that's why the line work looks not good here. But that's okay. Mr. Moneybags and Bean. And this is the boxing match. So this is the one that he got from the ticket before here. And then this is inspired by Ace Ventura 2? Yeah. The one where he's in Africa, I believe. Okay, this one's mango. The joke is that this is a mango and this is a mangosteen. It would help if I had color. And cashews are in the family of mangoes. So that was something I saw from Weird Explorer. And I didn't know that. And I was like, oh, that's a funny joke. Not many people would get it. As you see, but I changed the font here, so even though it's plain, it's I think it's pretty fun. Just 4 panels, same size. So, yeah. And then this one's the last one. This one's Grumpy, and since Pothead doesn't have a face, I just had a little bit of inception. So these guys are grumpy, right? But since Pothead doesn't have a face, he drew a face on himself. And so they're all grumpy. So overall, I want to talk about the results, overall. So we just looked at all of the pieces, and I'll go over the things that went well, things that didn't go as expected, so things that went poorly or were challenging, and ideas for improvement next time that I got, that I came up with. And so, the good. So, first of all, made comics. So, although this was Manga May, it was actually part of a bigger project that I was doing called 100 Days of Art, which is to challenge myself with 100 days of art. It's doing art each day for at least an hour. And so this got encompassed in it and became a big chunk of it because it's 30 days, roughly. Some days I did a couple comics together. That's why you saw some of the quality drop between a couple of them. And then the colors, some of them are more consistent than others in terms of the pen color and so on. So I made the comics. I kept them simple, so they're all single page. In previous years, when I was doing the comic challenge in May, I was following Monitor, a artist on Instagram. Their prompts. This time around, we made our own because Monitor didn't come up with one for 2025. So we came up with our own and we did our own thing. And for some of those that I did previous years, you can see my other Postmortem. I did multi-page, and that made it a lot more difficult, especially to record. So, and another good thing is I have like 20 characters. So this time around, I got to include quite a few of them, so that was good. Now on to the challenges. So, like I said, I crammed a couple of comics. So a couple of them I did in one day. A couple I started in one day and then didn't finish until the next day. So I cheated. And that caused me a lot more stress. But then it was because some things were busier due to my main job. So I just wasn't available some days, but I still wanted to make 31 pieces. So sacrifices were made and cheat codes were entered, which is lack of sleep and energy next day. And then, but one of the other things that was unfortunate is the lack of color. So I think I had 4 pieces that were colored. In 2024, most of the pieces were colored, but they were flat colors. This time around, I didn't really even get to that. But I think the line work is better this time around, as well as some of the storytelling elements, because it was so compact. And some pieces were just 2 panels. And third, of course, going with some esoteric puns or things that not many people would... maybe it's not esoteric, idiosyncratic, or jokes that no one would get. That was a challenge. But one of the things that I talk about in the room for improvement here is that I didn't need to make jokes all the time, but that's what it ended up being. What a couple of them were actually flat jokes, and I didn't know how to write more serious things, or things that weren't just jokes. in such a limited space and amount of time. So that's something that I can do better next time. And also using some of the colorized tools. I use the Create Colorize tool a lot more in 2024. But this time around, once I did the line work, I redid them, cleaned them up. Roughly, I was just done. So, and like I was discussing when I was going through all the pieces, quite a few of them, color would have helped immensely. Either that or just values to see contrast and see what was there to clarify some of the information people were seeing. That would help some of the jokes land. And thirdly, this is something that sometimes you miss it and you just pick it up the next day. I'm not really that type of person, unfortunately, but next time I think I'm gonna go with that, because with the art, especially doing the 100 days of art, is just a challenge getting back up the next day. But sometimes those ideas are firing, and there's just this drive to get the work out some way, somehow. So yeah, overall it was very fun. I implore you to check out Bargon Spaceman's work. Like I said, he's on Twitter. No, not Twitter. Well, he is on Twitter, but he doesn't use Twitter anymore. He's on Instagram, definitely more on Newgrounds and Blue Sky. He's available at Bargon Spaceman. And for his daily post on Instagram, it's at Bargain Spacebin. He made amazing comics as well. And the whole purpose is to make them and enjoy. Have you guys read them. I know I went by quite fast, so feel free to check them out. I'm in the process of coloring some of them, so hopefully I'll get that completed at some point and fully release all of the comics. You'll be able to see some of my process videos in my shorts on this channel. So thank you for checking out this video. I implore you to make some comics yourself and share them so that I can read them. There's nothing more fun than telling a story, in my opinion, other than maybe eating. But that's a culinary story, at least for me. So all it takes is paper, pencil, pen. You could draw a comic on sand in dirt with a stick if you want to. You don't need a tablet. I've seen many great artists. I mean, that's where they started. If you watch channels like Art Chappelle, they have a lot of manga artists that started out on paper because there wasn't anything digital. So don't let that be a limiting factor. The more time you spend in the game, the better you will get at the game. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But if you don't play, you won't get better. And if you have any suggestions for me to get better, let me know as well. I'm open to suggestions. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye.